All right, let's give it up again for Rev Folklore, Some Nobody, and Sage Lilac. I don't know how the fuck I'm supposed to follow that, but I'll give it a shot. My brain doesn't do the from memory stuff super well, so I'm going to read to you guys. This first poem is one I wrote for my best friend when I thought I was going to lose him to depression. It's called Don't Sink. I've heard it said that depression is a bitch, but it's so much more than that. Depression is the monster that hides under your bed when it's not sitting on your chest trying to steal every last breath. So breathe deeply, because that's how you fight it. If you stop filling your lungs, it wins. I'm tired of seeing it take the best parts of people. I know what it's like to wear shoes heavy with cement that you just can't get off. I know how it feels when your bed becomes the only world you exist in. I know what it's like to only come alive when you found the bottom of a bottle. I know what it's like to feel like that last try to embrace the end is just one more thing you couldn't do right. I know that it can steal your joy, your energy, your strength, sometimes so much so that you think there's nothing left, that you're so empty you may as well let go. Don't. You're not alone. I see you, long sleeves, covering wrists, crisscrossed with failed attempts, knowing that pain doesn't fade as fast as the last scar did. That you just can't cut deep enough to dig it all out. I've been there, held gun to head, then tasted barrel instead, fingers shaking on the trigger. Hands that didn't quite feel like mine, until steadier ones reached out to bring me back. So reach, stretch fingers until they find something to pull up on. A noose is not something to hang on by, so ditch the rope, pick up the phone. I swear to you, someone will answer. I will answer. When you can't sleep because you're digging up your skeletons, just call. I'll be up thinking about the same shit that you are. Then put down the shovel. That hole is far too deep already, and it's hard to climb out unscathed. Let me tell you, I've got scars enough for both of us, and they hide in the bags under my eyes. They keep me up at night, too. But press on. Find your pulse and follow it. Keep those rivers in your veins where they belong, because floods like that always leave collateral damage. You're woven into our stories far too intricately to remove yourself without tearing it all down. You matter. That thing beneath your ribs, it beats for a reason. Don't lose that rhythm. Not for anything. Not for anyone. Live as an act of rebellion against the darkness, trying to swallow you whole, because those galaxies inside of you, those stars that leak out, my God, they can shine. So shine on. Dear friend, I love you. Don't go. I know it's hard. Dear depression, fuck you. Most of you that know me know that I've dealt with some swallowing issues the last handful of years. It's been pretty rough. It's, I guess, 2 years this month. So this poem is about that. It's called Sisyphus. I buried hope today. Nothing more than bones left in a shallow grave. Maybe it's because I've exhausted all my strength, or maybe some part of me still believes someone else can bring it back to life. I've been fighting for so long that I can no longer remember what it feels like to rest. Don't fully trust that I can find that place again. Would I even know how to hold myself in it if I did? Does it exist still out there somewhere, waiting for me to come back? Does it really matter once the dirt has been piled up? I've laid far too many friends in the ground when it feels like I'm just waiting for my own wake. So consider this my eulogy to the belief that everything can get better, or anything can. I think I left joy in that same hole, keeping hope company there in the dark. With all the pieces of myself I've lost, I am nothing more now than fear and a handful of dust. So shake me off when the color has left my eyes and watch me drift away. The world has gone gray and all I can taste are the ashes. People say things like, hang in there and keep trucking and fucking chin up. But there's an albatross hanging from my neck and I can't see anything but the fetters at my bleeding feet. Still, I'm trying to keep love alive, if nothing else. Because when that has left the world, all hearts are still. My hands must be chained too, though. It seems like I just can't reach far enough to stop it slipping from my grasp like every pound that has melted off this broken body while I wait for answers that just won't come. All these fruitless questions dancing around the tip of my tongue, and the only one I never ask is why me? Call me Sisyphus, rock, meet hill, meet trembling legs, meet arms too weak to lift up a mirror and see an unfamiliar face staring back where the tears have worn new fault lines into the landscape. And I can't hear the music anymore. Meet throat gone raw from screaming. Meet despair. Someone tell me, when does the torture stop? Will I ever get past this? Is there anything left for me or in me? How do I find myself again? Thank you. I gotta say, it's a big honor to be up here sharing the stage with Levi. He's been a hero of mine for a long time. I've been following him since he was writing about metaphorical werewolves and smoking too many cigarettes and performing in skate parks. So, Levi, thank you for being here. Garrett, thank you so much for making this happen. Getting to live the dream tonight. This is a poem I don't do very often. I wrote it a few years ago when I was having a really hard time with sticking around and found an old journal of half-written suicide notes, and I decided I could make some art out of it. But Levi talks in Keep Forgiving about how sometimes the bloodletting feels like murder, but you have to get the poison out, so that's what I'm doing. It's called The Goodbyes Behind My Teeth. This house is full of empty rooms, every single one. And if you asked me, I couldn't tell you for certain that anyone ever lived here, but I know that there are ghosts in these walls. Silent, passing through, I see them all. Wonder if I too am a ghost, waiting for my body to realize just how many years I've been absent from it. If I were still here, I'd use it to tell you what I wish I didn't have to tell you. You did everything you could, all of you. You tried. I tried for so fucking long, but you deserve more than those 2 words, so I write this for you. Hating how much you'll hate to read it, I'm sorry. When I'm gone, give me to the flames, let them eat up this vessel that I never belonged to. Share what remains when they've had their fill. Let the one I loved the most take what art she wants from my walls. Let her have it all. If only to remind her how much I love to listen to her recite every line from our favorite movies. If I ever felt at home, it was there, living in the middle of her laughter. Keep her close. Let your love wrap around her finger in place of the ring that I never bought, but always wanted to. Help the kids to remember all the joy they brought me in the moments I could pull my head above the water. Keep my love for them alive in every memory you share. It was deeper than any ocean I ever wanted to throw myself into with a pocket full of stones. Know that you gave me everything you had and more. Know that I saw it and took it into myself on the days I stopped being afraid of the dark and embraced it as an old friend. It's all I know now. Buddy once spoke of the point where tears don't work to wash things away anymore. And I know he wasn't talking about where I find myself more and more these days, but the stains won't come out. Like him, my fingers are broken from desperately reaching for breath The suffocating is more terrifying than all those nights with you sitting next to me in hospital beds when my lungs stopped working. Now it feels like they aren't there at all, and every prayer I have has faded to a whisper, no longer loud enough to pass my lips. I am starving for the light. There are bright spots, barely more than pinpricks, little holes in the darkness, shadows of happiness. I'm chasing them with whatever strength is left in me after miles of potholes and detours, but I'm running on empty. Nothing save the fumes. Those moments flee before me, like the man in black across the desert, and I am bound to follow this endless, repeating cycle. I've reached the top of the tower 1,000 times now without jumping, but spoiler alert, eventually the story has to end, has to change into something else, for better or worse. People always ask if falling trees make a sound when there's nobody there to hear the crash. What I want to know is if a bell still rings when no one is there to pull the cord. What I mean to say is, what will I find on the other side? Are my friends waiting for me there with open arms? Or will I step into more emptiness, as black as the ink on this page? What kind of peace is left for someone like me? Thank you. This is, I guess, kind of an ode to poetry and what it's done in my life. It's called The Lifeline of a Blank Page. You, oh indelible, incredible you, have saved my life. I found you the year that I found cigarettes, when I started to see that my skin fit too loose and had no idea how to grow into it. Realized that existing in this space was the hardest thing that I would ever do, because it always felt forced. It still does. Sometimes this body is a church on fire. It's a holy place that I am desperate to escape. But when I'm with you, this world fades out, like I could be floating among the stars and finally see something I want to hold on to. My hands sometimes open too quickly. My fingers tremble. My arms get stuck to my sides. If I peeled back the skin and took a look inside, there would be a flood of ink, and I would use every page you ever helped me fill to keep it in there. My pen as the needle to close it up again. You, as indispensable as my own breath, fill my lungs until they spill out and then fill them again. Even there in the silence, when all I can manage is a whisper, you hear me. You always have. Each time my feet lead me to another rock bottom, you teach me how to let go of the stones that try to sink me and see just how far I can skip them. When the war is over, when I have finally, at long last, finished fighting to stay, what's left will be you, no matter the outcome. And goodbyes carved into the wall so that tears can't wash away the honesty, or in thank you cards by the thousands, tied to the legs of doves so they can reach you in the sky, because where else could you possibly come from? I will draw them gently in the dirt with my hands as well, just in case I miss the point entirely, and trying to remember what it felt like to be alive in this room, as if it's not a place I can find again. C'est la vie, que sera, because you are language I'm not fluent in still, but I am trying so hard to learn. Cannot hang you like a painting on my wall or wear you like a piece of jewelry made by nimble fingers, but I can loose you in my chest, let you bounce around the empty spaces like an echo chamber on the countless days that I can't eat because my wires are so tangled. Again, after I thought I'd gotten all the knots out, I fill my belly with your wind and cram every letter I can down my throat like alphabet soup without the broth. Find that when I don't know how to let you free, someone else has already unlocked the door, placed your hand in mine to walk me slowly through the dark. there is a tunnel, and somewhere out there, the proverbial light winking at us from the end. This next one's called Free Fall. I've had voices singing to me for years the chorus of my failures, playing back in slow motion every slipping step into the person I swore I'd never be. I still haven't found music loud enough to drown it out. I haven't stopped looking. Somehow I've become an expert at tying the only knot firm enough to hold all the heaviness of a human heart without breaking. There's something poetic in the strength of something it took all of my weakness to imagine. I've had backup plans stretching through the entire alphabet when I had to leave plan B in hands that don't tremble at the thought of looking tomorrow in the face. I know there's got to be something more than waiting for release, gasping like a fish out of water, the way I've felt since I was 13. Otherwise, why would there still be so many of us here, sharing our stories like oxygen tubes, trying to shape ourselves into something like life preservers in a race against the sinking ships all around us, shoving our noses into flowers so we don't smell the burning buildings, pretending we don't want to climb into the dirt beneath them and become another patch in the garden, like that's how a village could ever be fed. I wonder on those days if the sun has stopped shining or if I've just been keeping my eyes closed for fear of going blind, or if the difference really matters when I can't see further than the breakdown lane I've been drifting into, my knuckles white on the steering wheel, wishing I was better at following the instructions I tattooed across them when I thought there was still helium left in my chest. This mess of broken windows and empty hallways, covered in dust. The well has run dry. My lips are cracked and bloody. If the better days are coming, I still haven't heard their footfalls. I would have taken the place of every life cut short that wanted to stay, that had big, beautiful plans for a future full of joy that I just can't see. But I got beat to the punch, and I still don't know how to get up off the mat. You can't fuck this pain away or drown it at the bottom of a bottle. Believe me, I've tried. My nephew is here now. And my niece, she's learning to love soccer already. Me, I'm not sure what game I'm playing yet. All I know is that I want to knock it out of the park and see what it feels like to be going, gone. I'm not done yet. Hey. I'm surrounded by people who want nothing more than to lift me up. But the truth is, I'm terrified of heights. What if I don't like the view from up there? What if I still can't see the green grass? Okay, now you can clap. Be patient. Thank you. This next one is for Jake. Wish he was here tonight. Yeah. So after 7 years without him, he still reminds me all the time that grief has never been linear, and it never will be. This is called Ghost in the Machine. Every morning starts with the unbearable weight of your absence. Like an anchor, it stops me in place, tries to drag me down, tries to drown me, steals my breath. Takes all I have to crawl from bed. I want to slip back into what troubled sleep I can manage, hoping I wake again to realize that it's all just been some terrible nightmare. I wear you close against my chest because that's as near as I can get to feeling your embrace one more time. I let you hang down just far enough that I can pull you up to trembling lips, let them linger on what I tell myself is your forehead. Like the night you broke down with me until the sun rose, just needed to be held, reminding me how much we all need each other. I listen to you through videos that don't do you justice, over and over and over and over and over until I know every change of your voice when it comes, can almost mirror every note when I can get the words out, despising how short they fall of standing next to you on days long gone, wishing for one more minute of that magic in the room. I take you off at the close of every night so I don't break the small piece I have left that is not nearly enough, that is everything to me. I think about it and I can't fill my lungs. I spend nights avoiding sleep, just waiting to hear you speak. I can't eat because the thought of you is too much. Why didn't you tell me? I would have tried something. I know how consuming sadness can be. It's a thief. Each time I look in the mirror, I notice new pieces missing, don't recognize the face staring back at me. I've been devoured by it for so long that I don't know what's left to give, but I would have added yours if you would have let me. Seen you find peace in something else. It doesn't work that way, though. I wonder how dark it looked from where you stood. Happy people don't search for escape, only to stumble through exit doors that can't be reopened. That wasn't the alarm you heard sounding behind you. It was all of our broken hearts crying out in unison for what was stolen from us. I am haunted by all that I couldn't do for you, by wondering if you knew that would be our last hug, our last talk, the last time you would ever leave your bag in my car. When I handed it over, did I hand you the very thing that took you from me? If I had opened it up and looked inside, what would I have found? You were already just a shell, already gone. I could see it. I just didn't know exactly what that meant. Never dreamed that you wouldn't come back. I want to vomit and spill it all out, free myself of the anger, the pain, the wondering if things could have been different. Make some space more empty than my heart. Take a little focus off of it. No matter how many drinks I take, I can't possibly cover it all. We always promised each other we wouldn't sink, but you let oceans flood in and you went down with the ship. Now I'm finding cracks and holes in my own vessel, trying desperately to patch them up, bailing waters, but my arms are weak, wondering if I'll someday break that promise too. Knowing that heights never scared me for the sake of the fall. I have fallen enough that sometimes I stick the landing. No, what terrifies me is I might actually jump when I look over the edge. Some days, I still want to. Sometimes, your name gets caught in my throat, and I choke on it, gasping. I can't breathe, but I keep it there because I don't ever want to let you go. I have all of these questions that you can never answer. There's one I simply can't shake. It bounces back and forth around my head every single day. Why? Why? Why the fuck did you leave? Memories of you still run down my cheeks in rivers. I can't stop the dams from breaking, and I wish I could hear you louder, just for a moment. There are echoes of you in familiar places. They're all I have left. Jake, as much as it hurts, rips and fucking tears me to shreds, I don't really blame you. Not anymore. I just hate myself for not being there. I wish we had grabbed even one more beer. More than anything, I really wish you'd said goodbye. Thank you. Got a couple more for you. This one's called Trembling Hands. What do you do when the poetry is gone? What fills the page when your mouth runs dry? When the words won't come, but you have too much to say? When you're sinking in the weight of all those racing thoughts, do you try to open up your palms, and whether you have to pry apart your fingers or let them slowly unfold on their own? This is the way the world ends. No earth-shaking bang to announce it, only a whimper, barely heard. Leaving behind a person I don't recognize myself, I become something else. A stranger in this place where I grew up, dressed in the skin of someone you once knew, pretending for all of us that he's still here. Trying to ignore the ghosts, the shadows, the memories, like they're not all I can see. How ironic to be putting it to paper then. These lines that escape me anytime I try to sit down and ease open that release valve that seems rusted shut against me from disuse, till I'm left here drowning in a lake of tears that will slowly rock me to sleep again. But when I wake from troubled dreams, I still wonder if this is just another one of them. The disconnect runs so deep now that I can't hold on to any of it. Nothing here is tangible. Everything inside insists that I no longer exist or is begging not to, and I've got to wonder if those aren't just two sides of the same coin. How long do we carry all the things that can't be fixed? When do we get to lay that burden down? Is there rest for me that isn't waiting 6 feet deep? If the day comes that I have to leave this place, please do me a kindness and let me go gently into that good night, like the last leaf of autumn floating down to the stream to begin its final journey to a place we've never been. The bars of this broken body have held me here in this purgatory of muted tones. The years fly past at the speed of sound, and I can barely catch the echoes. Please, don't side with them against me. Instead, remember me as your favorite time of day, sunrise, when all seems bright and new, and there's a chance it might get better. Or sunset, when the light leaves the sky in the most magical way. Or maybe midnight under the light of a full moon, singing her love to the ocean. Or 3 in the afternoon on a blanket in the middle of summer, picking shapes out of the clouds. Give my art a home on your walls if it helps you see me better in those quiet moments when you try to remember the sound of my laughter. Wear my sweaters if you need to feel me holding you still. I won't tell you to smile, but I hope that eventually you do, that you feel me there in the stretch of those beautiful cheeks. I hope that it doesn't hurt then to flex those muscles and light up the room, that there's a peace in knowing I finally found mine. Hear my voice and the words I brought to life on all these pages when I can no longer speak them. I put them here for you, to know me as I am, without the walls, without the mask, nothing hidden. Maybe someday you will find me again, with my face uncovered, my hands no longer trembling, with my eyes clear and dry. Quick little wardrobe change. Levi, which way does the shirt go? This is a promotion. This is the Levi shirt. Buy Levi's stuff, like, immediately. Buy all of it. Make sure he leaves with nothing for the rest of his tour. This is the last one I got for you. It's called There's Always a Lighthouse. I think about the way I look standing up on this stage, and I wonder, do they know how the fear slowly leaking out with the tremble in my voice is not the fear of public speaking, although standing here in this place, remaining still, can make my knees shake. That to be known is all that I've ever wanted, is all that makes my skin crawl from these brittle bones, hoping to hide in the corners of a dusty memory. The places I once called home. The tattered edges on these photographs of days gone by I wish that I could take back. Do they say they wrinkles I've tried to smooth out from all the times I crumpled them up in hands grown weak, hoping that I could mold them like clay and reshape myself? Have they noticed how I keep my watering eyes on these pages because they might see in them that I mean every word I say, and that would shatter the fragments I've already broken into? Maybe it would break them too. It's the reason the nicotine beckons so quickly when I walk back to the room before I can face what I've let loose. But are any of us really whole to begin with anyway? Or is that just an unattainable myth perpetuated by the self-help gurus striving to make a quick buck? If I'm the only one that can save myself, then the ship is already sunk. If I'm right, though, and we're all just patchwork children made up of all the people we've loved and those we've lost, then hope might still float on these raging waters. Every time I sip a cup of tea and embrace its warmth, I still think of Mars, how she is brighter endlessly than that planet I have no idea if we called her after, how she taught me so much about honesty and letting someone crack our spines and read every word carved into our souls, to allow them to hold that weight with us, even just for a moment. Every tent I see pitched along the river or lonely sidewalk, I think about DJ, who kept me whole on unfriendly streets, wondering if he finally found either a bed or a grave. Each time I hear sweater weather, my first thought will forever be how much better it sounded spilling from Jake's mouth. When I smile at the excitement my nephew has for all things dinosaur, I remember Jack and how he would sit up for hours in our sleeping bags, expounding to me the countless reasons why Komodo dragons are the single greatest things to roam the planet since, well, dinosaurs. As the needles break my skin again on a fresh tattoo, my heart breaks all over that I never did get around to grabbing one with Mel. And each word I release on this microphone takes me back to the countless days spent with LJ, learning how to finally step outside myself and pour it out. I have a story for every inch of fabric that's been woven into me. Maybe that's why I'm still here. Now, drunk on my kitchen floor, laying with my cat who wants nothing more than to be giving me all the love in the world, and every moment that I offer him my attention, who understands what matters in this fragile life more than I ever have or probably ever will. He's 17 now, and maybe he never expected to live so long. Maybe there's a chance for me to do the same. I wonder if he's tired the way that I am tired. Outside, the sky is gray. It reminds me that there is a fog that exists outside my clouded mind, that you can still stir milk into coffee and change its shape. The light in my eyes has gone cold and dark, and it feels like I'm being dragged from this place on bloody knuckles and bruised knees. This life has not been soft with me. But these knees have never broken. No matter how many times I crumble, they still catch me and break my fall. The light from all the pieces given to me freely still finds a way to shine, even when I can't. I never let them go. The day will come that I have to leave this place and I will be sad to go. Thinking about the love I tried to share, the laughter in unfamiliar places, the strange beds I made, and all the losses. It will always be enough. If all that's left for me is the pain, I am still here, screaming into the void, waiting for it to shout back. Thank you. If you guys are into stickers, I've got some stickers on that back table. They're free. Just take what you want. Stick around for Levi. That's the reason we're all here tonight. Thank you.